morning. Good morning to one and all. Right, we're off out this morning, so I quickly want to get this bit done before we go. And on today, I'm going to show you how to make the perfect korma curry. Try it at home and let me know what you think. So before we get to go out, I really want to get the main bit done. So the key secret of making a korma curry, your base will be actually onions. So you've got to boil up 3 onions per dish, but I want it to double up. But I'm not going to quite double up. I'm going to do 1.5 of the recipe, if that makes any sense. So 3 onions for a normal amount of the korma. So I'm going to do like 3.5 onions, but I'll probably do 4 because these aren't very large. They're going to be large. So I'll do 4 onions. 4, 5. No, I'll be doing 5 onions, won't I? So yeah, first thing is boil up your onions. So you can cut these as small or as big as you want. You're just boiling them. Smaller you chop them, and the quicker they're going to boil. So when I get back, I'm going to run through exactly all the spices, if I can find it. I just hope I can, because there's a special korma mix I've mixed all together, and then you only use, like, let's say a tablespoon of that. So I need to try and find in my notes to what went into that special mix, and I'll let you know all the other ingredients is. So half of this today I'm planning to actually freeze for another day. So we will be having curry and rice today, and it's always handy to have a ready meal ready in the freezer. It's better than any ready meal you can buy from a supermarket. So as I'm doubling up, so to say, not quite, but as I'm doubling up, I might have to do it in 2 batches, depending on whether my frying pan, my big frying pan, will be able to cope with that amount of ingredients. We'll have to wait and see. I do remember before making it the normal way with the 3 onions, and it was a little bit overflowy, let's just put it that way. So I might have to hold back and do the other sort of half afterwards. But right, so the recipe requires 3 large onions. I've done 5, so it's a little bit more. I'm not going to double up because I haven't really got enough chicken for that amount. Right, so I'll just bring it down. Like I said, just roughly chop your onions. The smaller you chop them, the quicker they're going to boil, and the easier they're going to fit into your pan as well. Your frying pan. Say good morning to my lot.
Alright.
That's all you're getting. That's all I got. There we have it. So fill that up with water. So afterwards, what you're going to be doing is blitzing this, and you're also going to need to be using some of the onion juice in this as well. So make sure there's I wouldn't say plenty, but make sure there's a good amount of water in there, because you are going to need some of that water. So there are probably lots of different ways of doing this. This is the way I'm showing you. Some people don't know how to do it, so I'm giving them I'm giving you an idea on how to do it. Right, and this is tried and tested. So one of the ingredients you're going to need is cinnamon. Alright, let me just check my recipe list. So the other one is cinnamon, almond powder, you're going to need sugar. I need to get me spices out, because this is where my secret spice is. Now what's that? That's semolina. Right, so in here I have my ready-made mixes. This is for my usual curry. So I'm just going to, now that one looks pale. Okay, it doesn't quite look like maybe I've got one made up then. So I might have to make one up. That's interesting now. Because I'm going to have to find the recipe of what goes into that special mix. So I had to make up a new mix. So there's about 8 different spices in there. So I'm going to have to give that a good, but I'm only going to need like a tablespoon or 2. So I have to give that a good mix up, and these are the only size bags I have, so then I'm going to have to put them into that. Never mind. Yeah, I'll give that a good mix. How's the onions coming on? Not quite boiled yet. Just found bigger bags, so that's going to be handy. What I'll do is just chuck it all in and try and mix it like that. So in this goes 2 tablespoons of turmeric, 3 tablespoons of coriander powder, 3 tablespoons of curry powder, 3 tablespoons of cumin, and 1 tablespoon of garam masala, and half a teaspoon of extra hot chili powder, or whatever chili powder you have. So that's your main mix. And that's actually the base, or a mix also, that will make one of my normal curries also. So, right, also what you're going to be needing with this is a coconut milk. Now, you don't want like the light one, you want like the heavy sort of creamy one. So I've gone for the rich and creamy. I've got 2 cans here because I'm probably going to need 1.5, because I'm doing 1.5 on the actual measurements. Thereabouts. But for the actual korma now itself, I'm going to start making up the dry mix on this plate. So I'm going to need 2 teaspoons of turmeric powder. Now it costs a lot to get all these spices initially, but once you got them, you'll never go back to making curries the way you probably would have made them before. It's so easy to make, so easy, let me turn that down, so easy to make a proper decent curry once you know and you've got all the spices. But like I said, it can start off expensive, especially if you're getting good quality ones like I did. Right, 2 teaspoons of turmeric powder, 3 tablespoons of the mix powder that I've just made, so let's bring it down. You don't want to be looking at me. That onion stinks. I like the smell of fried onion, but yeah, boiled onion is a whole kettle of fish, isn't it? Now, I label my bags, so I do have to put a label on this so I know it is just the mix. Half a teaspoon of garam masala. This is a lovely flavour. This really does change up, change everything up. Now, how much did I put on that? No, I'm going to go by my one. And that says 1 tablespoon. So I'm going to do what my one, because I've made it this way and I know it works fantastic. Which actually means then I'll put another cumin in. I have done all that totally wrong. I've actually been starting to make another mix. I don't know what to do about that. I'm going to leave that aside for now. I am going to start again. I don't want to mess this up. Right, so 2.5 tablespoons of my special mix powder. Yeah, I totally messed that up. I'm not going to do the half because I've added quite hefty big spoons there. Right, 2 teaspoons of turmeric. half a teaspoon of garam masala. Totally messed that up. That's half a mix there. So that's half. So this is all the dry ingredients. Pinch of salt. Now I need the almond powder. Now I have actually forgotten that I'm doing that sort of double on this, so I'm going to have to add more again. This is just now for the normal amount of curry that I would be doing. So 4 tablespoons of this ground almond. There we go. Right, now I'm going to half all that and do it again. Yes, I did that complicated because I messed up, and then when I did it again I forgot that I'm doubling up in a half, aren't I? Right, so half a teaspoon of the mix, 2 half tablespoons of the mixed powder. I'll do 1 and a half of a half. I'll skip this bit, come back to me when I've done it. So this plate is all the dry ingredients that I'm going to be using for this extra large curry today. Seems a lot, doesn't it? So the batch that I sort of bodged up on, I've turned into a new batch of mix, this special mix for the curries. So that hasn't gone to waste. Almost forgot 1 tablespoon of sugar, but I'll be doing 1 and a half. And also a small piece of cinnamon. So I'll probably just do sort of 2 small pieces if I can get these out. This really actually makes it so it's worth buying the cinnamon. So I'm going to have that as one. I'll probably use the other half of that for previous one anyway, and stick that one in. So I've still got 1 and a half left. That's a good size one. So I'm going to say that the onions are done, so I need to keep some of this water, so I'm going to be draining the water off. Now I have made these spices complicated, so don't worry, I'm going to run through them in a minute. Once again, so keep your water. Maybe just keep a tiny bit in there, and we're going to be blitzing that down, so put that aside for now. I'm happy with that consistency. You're after kind of like a paste. Right, at this point we're going to be heading out the door, so we'll see you when we get back. I'm back. Just had a wonderful morning out with Dan, so he's busy now. He's got lots to do. I can carry on with the curry. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to shake this up in the bag. That's all the dry spices for today's korma, and half it, because I'm going to do it in 2 batches. I just know my frying pan will not cope with that amount. So I'm going to shake that up properly and make a start. Time shoving on actually now. Which reminds me, I'll get the rice on the go as well. So you're going to laugh at me once again. Leftover basmati rice from Hello Fresh. So to finish this off today is going to take some doing. Bit of a pain really, having to go out as well on the same day, but never mind. Right, I'm just going to measure this rice in a cup. That's how I do it. Everyone's different. 1 cup of rice to 2 cups of water. In this case it's just a little under, which is fine because I don't want too much rice anyway. Right, so stick that in. Stick that in. get roughly the same amount of water. Now I like to put a bit of oil in that. Gonna think I'm mad, but I'm not. Helps it stop sticking. Just a drop. You can't see, but just a drop. Now I do need some in the pan now, so let's make a start on this curry. I'll keep that out. Also what I will be doing is, I didn't put my cupboard back properly. I was in a bit of a hurry. So also to this I want some cumin. So I've got to go, got to go right at the bottom again. Right at the bottom of my curry cupboard. I do like to just put no, turmeric is what I'm after. I do like to put a tiny bit of turmeric in with me rice. There we are. Turmeric powder. So yeah, I've made this seem complicated, haven't I? Don't get me wrong, it's still not easy to do anyway. But it can be easy. I find it easy, but me trying to tell someone else how to make this will come across like it's complicated. Oh, I'm knackered. I haven't sat down since I got in. Literally, just quickly boiled the kettle, topped my coffee off, just took my coat off, washed my hands, and now just trying to get a little bit trying to now get a little bit organised. I knew I didn't do that up properly. I wouldn't mind, these can stain, but if you've got a decent kitchen spray, it actually does remove it. Mix that up, get the oil all over your grains. So towards the end I do like to add a little bit of cooked chopped onion to this. Just gives it a sort of, I don't know, I like it. Makes it a bit more Indian-y. Trying to coat the grains of rice. There we go. So add 2 cups of water. So I can pre-cook this now because that'll be reheated. I'm going to put just a dash of salt in that. Now I always say like we don't add salt to our dinners. We don't. But if it came to like just that or making mashed potato, that's totally different. Right, get me onion water over there, get that on the go. I'm going to have to put my fan on now, so it's going to get noisy and loud, because it is going to smell of curry now. Right, I'm going to dice up some chicken. Okay, 4 breasts. So I want it even, whereas them 2 look bigger than them 2. All this is going to need dicing and trimming, getting the gammy bits off. Actually, there's loads of chicken in this. I didn't realise. They look all smaller than your average breast of chicken though. So I've halved that, roughly. So the first batch I do, I'm actually going to they're the ones I'm going to freeze, because then that way then I can put them into takeaway tins and put them in the freezer once cooled down. Oh, my rice is coming up, So never take a lid off a rice, but you can at this stage, just to make sure it's not sticking to the bottom, and then leave it as that. Right, I've got to time that and turn that down. There we go. Right, let's get this pan on the go now. Right, this is where the magic comes. This is where now we're starting to make a korma curry. So So I might have actually put too much turmeric in that. It's going really orange. Never mind. So I will be doing a couple of sides as well, like the yogurt side with the mint and also an onion one as well. Right, so I just got to wait for the oil to get hot. And then I'm going to be adding half of the onion paste. By the way, if I look like I've been dragged through a bush backwards, it's because I look like I've been dragged through a bush backwards. All my hair's coming out my clip. I'm just waiting for this frying pan to heat up. Right, I'm going to be adding half of the onion paste. So this is the substance to your curry, basically. About half, I would say. Fry that on for about 8 minutes. And once that's cooked down in 8 minutes, I'm going to be using 2 teaspoons of garlic and ginger paste. Me rice is going to be really orange. What have I done? I think while this cooks down actually for the 8 minutes, I'm going to just chop some onions for the fried rice. I like an onion rice, so we'll go with 3 small ones. Perfect. I'm using red on these ones, a lot more sweeter. You can use whatever you want. When making the base of that though, I did use white. It does say to use white. I think last time though I might have used red. I'm not sure. So I've actually chopped 2. The other one I'll just use for the what was it? The onion dip for afters. Right, so that's 1 more minute and I'll turn the rice off. So at this point also now, I'm going to be adding, because I'm splitting this in half, you add 2 teaspoons of this, but I'm going to be using 1 and 1.5 of ginger and garlic paste. Fry that off for 2 minutes. And then we're going to be adding all our spices. Half the spices. I hope this is mixed properly, otherwise everything's not going to be quite right. So let's go with about that much. That's about right. And then I'm going to be adding, oh yeah, right, now it's starting to smell like a curry. Right, once I've got this mixed in, I'm then going to be adding some of the 200 mils, about 200 mils of the onion water. But because I'm not doing quite a whole portion, I'm going to go a little less. So make sure you get all that mixed in. You can see. Coming along lovely. So lucky for me, I actually have like the millimeters inside my pot, so I can judge that. That's about 550. Yep, that's about right. 200 milligrams of that. Right, at this point I'm going to be adding the coconut milk. So for a full one of these I would be adding a full can. So I might hold back because it's not going to be a full can. Or I'm just going to go with it. Just go with it, Mazzy. We'll be fine. Right, so I've got to cook this down for 10 minutes now like this. So I'll turn the heat down a little. And then we'll be adding the chicken. Also at this point, add your cinnamon. I forgot to add the cinnamon in. So half the cinnamon there. Just give me onions a stir. The rice is off the heat now. Oh, that is really starting to smell like a korma now. Oh my gosh. Yeah, disappointed. My rice is really orange. Looks like Mexican rice. I've never done that before. Very gutted in with myself. So I've just been chopping the onion for the onion dip thing at the end. Oops, flicking it everywhere. So I think these will be cooked enough now. And what I do with that is mix it into the rice. It's absolutely lovely. Right, I'll turn that off. And with this onion dip, because I've got still a few minutes for this to cook down, I'm going to get some coriander. Oh, this cupboard of mine is dangerous, isn't it? Coriander powder. Not powder, sorry, no, herbs. Yeah, don't use coriander powder for this bit. And this makes then the nice onion dip. It's absolutely lovely. And then I'll percent that like in a little, and the infusion that, especially like if you do it sort of hours prior to eating it, it is amazing. Right, I'll put that into a little dish. I think we'll share that dish on that one. The next step's coming up. I need 200 milligrams of single cream. Well, it's 6 millimeters, so just split that into 3. So it should be about there, depending on how low the top is. But yeah, that'll be ready now to add the cream and your chicken. Oh, just in a few minutes. It smells well nice. Right, it's time to add the chicken. So let's slowly add this without it splashing. Oh, I've made a right bodge of that, haven't I? Made a right bodge of that. Good job I'm wearing black today. That's all I have to say. And 200 mils of the single cream. So yeah, it's about there. So I'm going to go down to about there. There we go. Now I'm going to mix this, and then this is going to cook for 30 minutes on the hob. So you get a lot of sauce with this. I don't know if I did the right thing by splitting this into 2 really. Maybe I should have just did the one. Yeah, I could have added more chicken into that, couldn't I? Let's quickly chop some. Absolutely ignore everything I have said today. I'm turning the 2 batches into 1. This is the most complicated curry I've ever shown. I'm going to be honest, I doubt I'm even going to put this video on. It's just too complicated. Oh, and I messed up the rice, didn't I? So yep, I've now added the rest of the spice, all the chicken, literally all the chicken. I'm just going to make the 1 batch. It was just too much sauce to the chicken, wasn't it? So anyway, here we are back at the stove. Right, I've got to cook this down for 30 minutes. And at the last minute, you then add some fresh yogurt. Whilst that's cooking down, I've bowled up my onion. You know, it's like one of the dips they have, don't they? So with the last one, Dan does love this. Now, use natural yogurt for this, but to be honest, I've been known to use mayonnaise as well when I've not had the yogurt, and it works. It works. So I'm just going to be pouring a little bit into there. Pour or whatever. And today we're going to be adding some mint. Trust me on this one, okay? It works. Alright. Bring you down. I've got to keep an eye on the frying pan. I've already got loads of spillages and all sorts at the minute. Oh, I'm probably going to need a clean spoon. Oh, that'll be alright. Give that a mix. And Dan loves this. And also with today's, we're going to be having leftover naan bread from HelloFresh. These are really nice, these ones. Just going to be heating those up in the frying pan. Not frying pan, the air fryer, sorry. A bit more yogurt in that. And there we have it. And obviously now that's going to infuse a lot more as well, the more it's in the fridge. There we go. That's my homemade Rahita dip, or whatever you want to call it. Chicken korma is finished. So that had half an hour to, just grab a spoon. That had half an hour to cook down. Now at this point you're going to add, turn the heat off, 2 tablespoons of the natural yogurt and stir it in. Let's get this out. It's lovely and creamy and thick. It's going to be so good. Right, I'm going to dish up on a plate and let's see what Dan thinks of this today. I was supposed to put saffron maybe on top for decoration, make it look nice. It's a very strong flavour. I don't think we'd like that, so I'm not going to be bothering with that. Are you hungry or starving?
Yes.
Here you go, give yours a try. I haven't dished mine up yet. Now,
chunky.
Yeah, I did cut some small and some a bit bigger.
Beautiful.
Considering now that was a bit of a bodge job, wasn't it? Let's be real. I sort of messed up on that with portions and keeping seconds, trying to put seconds into the freezer and stuff like that. Is it alright?
It is beautiful. Is that all I'm getting today though?
No, it's a whole pan of it for you.
Fantastic.